Hey, let it be known, I'm working hard when I ain't on the phone. This ain't a hoe, this ain't a foe.
What up? It's another episode of It Needed to Be Said. I'm the co-host, Julius Collins. We got the main man, Cheetah. What's going on, man? How you feeling?
Yeah, Cheetah in the building, man. Y'all know I'm going to bring the energy every time. Today we got a special guest. You know, he's a very special guest. Former Miami Dolphin, former Chicago Bear. I think this dude had over like 20 receptions in the game. He went crazy. He still don't got better hands than me, but we got B-Marsh in the building, man. Let's give it up for B-Marsh in the building.
What up?
You really think you got better hands than me?
Come on, baby. I do, baby.
What makes you think that? You know what? When you and Steve Smith did that little challenge, you know, it really opened my eyes to how good your hands are. Like when you think about Cheetah, right? You think about like fast. You think about the moves. You think about the big explosive plays, but you don't necessarily throw them in. Right. You know, that discussion of best hands. So you're definitely in that conversation, but I don't see how you can just go out there and say you have better hands than me.
I got better hands than you, bro.
Have you ever made a one-hand catch?
I don't
in the game,
bro.
Like, have you ever seen?
Has he ever? I just want to let you know, a one-hand catch and a two-hand catch is still a catch, right?
But what I'm talking about,
it's not like they give you
the
an
degree of
extra point.
difficulty, though.
I don't got it. I be so open, it'd be crazy. You be having people on you like that's how you got to catch it like this above your head.
What's the point of it?
It's the point of it, baby. The separation is there. You had separation, but my separation is like here.
No,
I ain't
have no separation.
You had separation, baby. You had separation. But B-Marsh, man, what's up, man? Talk to us, man. How you feeling, man?
I'm excited, man. You know, I think this is pretty cool to come in here and be a part of this. You know, years ago, I had a vision of doing what you're doing now while I was playing. And I think a lot of people need to be paying attention to you and Jay and what you guys are doing. When I say people, I'm talking about athletes. You know, you guys don't operate as brands, y'all operate as business. Right? That's so like,
baby.
You know, it's pretty cool to be involved in it and seeing it behind the scenes.
Well, before we dive deep into who B-Marsh is and how B-Marsh became B-Marsh and the things B-Marsh went to become the guy you are today, let's talk about, you know, where you are today and, you know, what you got planned moving forward.
Yeah. It all starts with a plan and a vision. And, well, actually, it all starts with a purpose. Your number one job is to figure out, like, why you're here. Why were you created, right? So for me, you know, I'm in this position because I found my purpose back in 2011 when I was playing for the Dolphins. And then I start putting a plan together, and that plan really started to materialize in like 2014. And every single day I just woke up and I start working my plan. I knew what my plan was as a professional athlete. I knew what my plan was in a community, and I also knew my plan from a business standpoint.
Right.
And it's funny because like people don't understand the process, right? Like it took us how long to become a professional athlete? Right. And the same thing in business. Like everything I'm doing today, bro, I started back when I was playing just like you. And so people might see I Am Athlete or House of Athlete, the good, the bad, the ugly, and they're like, damn, okay, this started 2-3 years ago. It's like, nah, man. This started back in 2012, 2013, 2014.
I was playing, man.
Right. Yep.
That's crazy because, man, you talk about purpose all the time, man. And, you know, why we are here, you know, but I sometimes get sidetracked by doing side quests and stuff. But yeah, I feel like my purpose, man, is just to inspire, man. Like, I just love giving back to people. I love, you know, sharing with the youth, you know, helping them get to where they want to be at. And I just feel like that's my purpose. I want to coach. I want to do a lot of things, man. But I hope one day I really, you know, get to figure out what my true purpose is. But for now, man, I'm just gonna stick to just inspire. Right. That's what I want to do.
It's crazy though, because you know, you're talking about purpose, and of course, you know, you got your podcast. And that's, in my opinion, that's one of the most successful podcasts out. Not even just, you know, by a former professional athlete or anything of that nature, just all around is one of the most successful. And it's crazy because we talk about it all the time, and a lot of people don't want to address it. Why is it so difficult for African Americans to have successful podcasts? You've seen so many people start them and then they disappear. Is it like the sponsorship or what? And I say that to say, because we're talking about purpose, we credit your podcast in our eyes one of the original, you know, big time podcasts. And we right back where we started with the podcast in your room, the original chairs, the everything. So it's an honor to have you on here with you in our opinion, being one of the trailblazers of one of the biggest podcasts out right now.
Yeah. To be honest, I wasn't like. There's a couple things, right? A couple ways of like leading. You're either first or you're the best. We weren't the first, right? There were so many other athletes that did it before us. The knuckleheads. You have all the smoke, right? They're really the OGs. And then you also had, was it Channing Frye or, to play for the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they used to do their podcast on the road. I think this is like the second wave of podcasts coming and exploding. I think we're just scratching the surface, because if you're looking at the numbers, there's probably like there's 320 million Americans, and probably like less than 1% actually listen to podcasts. So now podcasts are exploding. So watch what happens over the next 5 to 10 years. What we were able to break through because we were in the middle of a pandemic. Everybody was at home, and we were the first football players to come together and get out of the box, right? Like a lot of times football players were institutionalized, right? Like you got to protect the shield. You got to protect the team. You always got to say the politically correct thing, right? So for us to come out and drink on the show, to smoke cigars on the show, we never got to like all the smoking weed, but even cursing, like that's deviant when it comes from football. You see basketball players do it all the time,
for sure.
right?
All the time.
So imagine that time, everybody's at home. We bring something to life that was a little bit different. Like I'm always trying to do something different. So like these mics, that was a big thing for me. If you go back to the first couple episodes, we're in my facility, House of Athlete, and we had these mics. And then you'll see 2-3 shows, these mics disappear. Now we get into the fashion and the dressing. We broke up the conversation by taking it to a restaurant, incorporating food. So like every single detail mattered. And I just thought that, from a brand standpoint, our approach, and then the conversation and the timing really put us in a really strong position.
Why do you think a lot of podcasts, I don't want to say a lot, but several podcasts, even by, like hip hop artists, other athletes, why do you think they haven't been as successful?
Listen, Rick Ross is one of your neighbors, right?
Right.
When I was playing for the Dolphins, it was one of my treats playing for the Dolphins. I don't smoke weed, but I tried it, and that was the year I tried it. And after practice or some games, I would go to Rose's crib and I would smoke weed. Me and him be in the living room smoking, Mom Duke's in the back, and we just be chilling. And I never forget, he said something powerful to me, man. This is in the prime of his career. And he looked at me, he said, I'm just now getting to the money. And he started explaining to me the rap game. A lot of dudes out there got hit after hit after hit, but they're really not making money, right? And he started breaking it down even more. And I look at the podcast game like the rap game, right? Longevity, consistency. If you don't have a major label behind you and you're independent, right? Like how do you stand up your own teams? How do you build teams? How do you hire? How do you fire, right? Business development is critical, right? We doing numbers. This show right here may do 100,000 to 500,000 in the first 30 days. All right, so how do we turn those views into, how do we monetize those views, right? So when we sit down with, a Celsius or, even your brand, your company, like how do we put a deal together? How do we get to the renewal process? So I think a lot of us, there's two things. We're not consistent, right? You got to understand the long game. Ebro from Apple, we talked about that at the Super Bowl. It's like, you got to be willing to go 10 years and just go. Don't chase the clicks. Don't chase the viral moments. Just be consistent, right? That's it. A lot of us, we go out there and we're like, damn, the numbers is down right now. Oh, I got to change something. No, just put out great content.
That's what somebody else said to us too.
Right.
Don't try to go viral. It'll happen.
Right.
It'll happen.
It'll happen.
It'll happen. And the second thing is monetization, right? Like it is tough monetizing. And I go back to what Rick Ross said. Don't get it twisted. There's probably 3 or 4 podcasts that's really making money right now. Even us, like I haven't taken a dime from our podcast, and it's been almost 3 years.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like other people are getting paid.
Right.
But as far as like making money and then reinvesting into, our social producers, what I call our Avengers team, talent, you're looking at, production, equipment, hell, the cameras and all the software we invested in 3 years ago, we just had to go reinvest in it because it's outdated.
Right.
So like we have to understand that game too. A lot of us put out great product. A lot of us put out great content, but we don't understand the business and how to monetize it all.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like football, man. Like just like we was talking about earlier with football guys and why football guys don't seem to have the need to, brand themselves. Like a guy like myself, I can be chilling right now. I just signed a big deal with the Dolphins.
Big deal.
But
Big deal.
myself, man, I'm like me, you, we think alike. Like we thinking about the future. We thinking about, how we can set ourselves up, for the 5 to 10 years from now.
Yep.
And that's really the big picture, because we can't play football forever,
right.
and I feel like football is only the stepping stone that's only going to help me get to where I really want to be at.
Right.
You feel me? Because I see a lot of guys, LeBron, Kobe, Tom Brady, like they making the real money outside of football. They just use their football money to invest into these other things, to build their football money like times 10, which is crazy. So
You're the
that's
blueprint.
how I look at it.
You're the blueprint, bro, because you keep the main thing, and there's also other hours in the day. Mm-hmm. And what are you doing with those other hours? And so you're a guy that go out there, seeing you in practice, you work your ass off. You're one of the hardest workers there. You're out there before, after practice, getting extra reps in, catching the ball. You're taking care of your body. And then in your spare time, like you have a good time, but you're not a dude that's out in the streets, right? What you're doing is you set up a studio in your crib, right? You're building teams, you're investing in things that you want to see come to fruition in the future. You know what I mean? So like, I think a lot of guys, they misfire, meaning like they put the cart before the horse. It's like, yo, I got this money. Let me go invest in here. Let me go invest in that. Let me go enjoy it. And what they do is the product on the field is terrible. Right. Don't nobody care about Cheetah if Cheetah ain't Cheetah.
Cheetah, you feel me?
Right?
You are right.
It just gives you those opportunities. But then you got to be very savvy, and your time management have to be on point to be able to build things. Like, there's no doubt in my mind, you're going to make more money post-career than you did playing ball, and you make a lot of money. Because I see it. You got it.
I need one of them Tom Brady deals. I need one of them Tom Brady deals.
The only thing your man just got goosebumps thinking about it. But the only thing you need to do is just be consistent with what you're already doing. And then along the journey and the path, shit's going to happen, right? Like the reason why I got into podcasting is because the pandemic.
Right.
It's like, no, I was just trying to tell a story.
Right.
So things will happen, but as long as you know your purpose and your why and where you're headed, you'll be able to always do this. Okay. You got to be agile. You got to be nimble. So you're going to be successful. And that's the difference between good and great. That's the difference between being successful or not. It's like, can you adjust? You get a blow over here. Can you adjust? Right? Oh, the numbers, the data saying this. Can you read it? Can you adjust? Mm-hmm. But you got it.
We were just saying this. We didn't say it as eloquent.
Support for It Needed to Be Said is brought to you by Manscape, who is the best in men's below-the-waist grooming. Their products are precision engineered tools for your family jewels. Manscaped's Performance Package is the ultimate men's hygiene bundle. Join over 8 million men worldwide who trusted Manscaped with the exclusive offer for you. 20% off and free worldwide shipping with the code CHEETAH at manscaped.com. If the math is correct, that's about 16 million balls.
You got to keep a smooth groove for the ladies, man.
The Performance Package 4.0 has arrived. Oh, man, is it a game changer? Inside the package, you will find there is a Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer, Weed Whacker, ear and nose hair trimmer, crop preserver, ball deodorant, crop reviver, performance boxer briefs, and a travel bag to hold all of your goodies. So, man, we got everything inside the bag to take care of whatever situation you got going on. You feel me? So, with that being said, you get 20% off free shipping with simply using the code CHEETAH at manscaped.com. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com and use code CHEETAH.
As you said it, but we said a majority of the reason you get a lot of pushback because you're at the top of the game, you're at the top of the receiver chart, you're highest paid, outside of a quarterback.
Is he at the top of the receiver chart?
Hell yeah, come on, man.
Give me your top three.
We're gonna get back to that, but no, let me finish this.
Gonna get back to that.
Let me finish this though. But we said it. We didn't say it as eloquent as that. We said because you just doing shit.
I just be doing
right.
shit, bro.
You know what I mean? Like
Stay
you
doing
got your hand in this, got your hand in this, and like you said, a lot of football players they institutionalized. So outside of that, what else is there? You know, it's not invest in your homeboy music career, invest in this. It's like, nah, invest in yourself. And I think with social media being as prevalent as it is, the content, the ability to consistently put out great content, I think that's why
it's hard, bro.
He get a lot of flack, man. Even with the
hard.
racing just now.
Who's where you getting flack from?
It's hard, bro.
Who's
when he say flack, he means
Flack,
from
just
like you know,
people like focus on football.
Football players, track athletes are saying, "Oh, he's washed." Like I'm like, bro, like I did this to bring some spotlight to your sport, bro.
Right.
Like,
oh, we gonna get on y'all ass.
we gonna get on y'all ass.
We gonna get on y'all ass.
Cause then I used to beat y'all same track athletes in high school, but we're not gonna talk about that today. Today is about B-Marsh.
We gonna get 'em,
Let's
though.
refocus on B-Marsh.
Right. What does that mean? Football players institutionalized. Like, what does it mean, and what do you think that mentality actually comes from?
I think he said it. Like, it's all about protecting the shield. Like, our coaches and our organizations teach us. Because when I first got to KC, that whole mess was like, hey, you're not doing no media, you're not doing this, you're not doing that. We just need you to focus on playing football. Just running fast and
don't mess up
passes.
that product.
But how crazy is that
in
for
the
them?
In the NBA, the players, they make up it's about the players.
Yeah.
Oh,
LeBron,
Yeah.
KD, Steph, go back in the day, the Kobe's of the world, MJ's of the world. Hell, you still got MJ, probably still the most recognizable NBA player, right?
Right.
Crazy.
In football, it's about the team.
Right.
It's about the shield.
Right.
Right?
Right.
We're finally getting to a position where our players are morphing into brands.
Right.
Right?
Right.
You got to go back, take the quarterbacks out of it. But, let's go to this generation. Antonio Brown.
Right.
Utilizing social media. You got you out there. You got Stephon Diggs. You got so many other athletes that are doing it. But all you got to do is look at the numbers. It's all about the numbers. You got soccer players in the Premier League that got 100 million followers. You got NBA players, LeBron is pushing 100. You got other NBA players, 13, 14, 15 million, 20 million. You go in the NFL, you got Tom Brady got a couple M's. You got Odell Beckham Jr. I'm not sure where you're at, right? So it's like, because we got to do a better job of taking our helmet off. So like they're protected. The NFL, the teams are protected because they're bigger than us. Now you got cheetahs of the world that start to become bigger than certain teams and in the game. So like, it starts there. And then also just the mindset from, one owner to the next is just totally different. It's old school. They're not used to adjusting or embracing our culture, and we are the culture.
Facts.
We make football.
Facts.
So
you are right about that, man. Well, B-Marsh, you definitely got that it factor, man. While you were playing, and you still seem to have it now, like in the business aspect of just trying to build your brand. Like, can you tell us or even the platform a little bit about who you are and how did you get that it factor? Like, did you get it growing up from your parents? You feel me? Because you was telling us a little bit downstairs about, how you grew up and stuff like that. So can you just share a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I've always had that entrepreneur spirit. I think that you can learn parts of it, but a lot of times it's like innate. It's part of your DNA. My father was one of the biggest drug dealers in Pittsburgh, and he hates when I tell the story, but it's my story, and I'm actually proud of him because he's one of the few that made it out.
Right.
He used to run dope from Pittsburgh all the way down to Miami, burying things in the beach down there on South Beach. Right.
Man, we're living like that.
That man, narcos.
Yeah. I mean, like, listen, like a lot of us, like he had to, that's what he felt like he had to do to survive and make it out. And so, watching my father, when I was young, I feel like a lot of that hustle and that it came from him. he also was able to transition and take that and go into the next thing, whether it was pressure cleaning business, a car wash business, real estate. Like, he was very savvy. So I saw my pops live that every single day. I would come home and like our whole living room floor, cash, piles of cash all over, and seeing them counting cash.
Man, they know what a bank was.
That's right. That's right. Yeah. And so it comes from that. And for me, I've always been an entrepreneur, going back to elementary school, selling candy. Right? You did that?
Remember those days.
Yeah, come on. You go get you some airheads, bro.
Come on.
25 cents a piece. You go mark them up.
Use my mama food stamp card and buy every piece of candy and go sell it in my book bag. Teacher used to be mad.
There you go. Like, you got it. See, that's like, think about it. Like, that's what hustlers do. Like, look what he's doing while he's playing.
Exactly.
Right? Even when I was in college, man, I ain't had no bread. Like, how I got bread, keep money in my pocket, Madden.
Right.
Like, that's how I was gambling Madden, like, just to keep $100, $200 in my pocket.
Come on now.
We would roll dice and you know what I'm saying, CeeLo. And then when we go on spring break, we drive down from Orlando to South Florida. I'll go straight to 24th and Collins. There was a CVS right there. It's probably still there to this day. I'll go get me. I have $20 in my pocket, Cheetah, Jay. Boom. As soon as we get to the beach, everybody else checking and they doing their thing. Everybody on the team.
Right.
Go get me my 24 pack. Sell them things for $2 a piece. Get ice, put them in there. Cold waters. Flip that. Go get another one. I sit there for an hour, bro. Within an hour, I would have all the money I needed for the whole spring break weekend.
And you living.
Here you go. Here go my portion of the room.
Right.
This is what I'm gonna eat off of. We go to a party. I'm gonna have enough to get in the club, and I'm gonna have enough when we go home.
Now you're buying sections in the club.
Yeah.
Security. No, we ain't do that. So it comes from my pops, yo. It comes from my pops for sure.
That's crazy, man. That's crazy. You got
Nah, that's dope. It made me think about the water boys in Atlanta. When you talk about you buying bottled waters.
You got to be careful with them dudes, bro.
I live in Atlanta, so I ain't got to say nothing about that. Hey, y'all good with me, bro. Y'all good with me. I didn't say it, but
they don't start washing your cars too now. They don't maybe washing windows now.
Hey,
I drive off too quick, bro.
Why you gotta watch them?
Huh?
Why you gotta watch the water boys in Atlanta?
Nah, it's not.
Nah, it was a story about some of them shooting. People because they didn't want to pay them.
See, I ain't want to get into that, but it's I live up there.
It's crazy.
But it's been instances where I don't even want to say that they was associated with the water boys because the ones that I know and I dealt with, they were good mannered kids, right?
Right.
I just use the chastisement when they come up, big bro. I don't know you, bro. If you're gonna sell me something, give me a sales pitch.
Be pro.
Be professional about it. Like, don't come in, hey, big bro, fuck with me, big bro. Nah, I'm not. I'm gonna roll my window down and you're gonna talk to me about why you out here. I know what school time is. See what I'm saying? I know where you supposed to be. Tell me why you're not in school. And when you hear some of the stories, is mom got 6, 7 kids. You know what I'm saying? She's getting government assistance, but she's still trying to work. She's not home. Or some of them don't want to go to foster care. So you hear those stories, but then you also hear the stories. People, they try to classify them as being a part of the water boys or bottle boys, whatever they want to call themselves, shooting at people. You know what I'm saying? I don't particularly associate them with the kids that I know that I've donated to. So that's why I stay away from that, because just like any other situation with us African Americans, one bad apple, everybody gets contaminated.
That's right.
Everybody gets grouped into a pile and then it's over with.
Because anytime I see a water boy, a candy boy, candy girl, like, I even found one and I throw them $20 because to me, I respect the hustle. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's like you could be doing anything else, but you out here humbling yourself, selling candy, selling waters, pumping gas, carrying groceries in. I didn't carry groceries outside of Giant Eagles in Pittsburgh, all of that. Washing windows, washing cars, cutting grass. That to me, that's honorable.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But you definitely, sometimes you go in the wrong place though. You gotta be sad.
You out here in the sun selling water. I commend you, man.
Shout out to Pristine Auction for sponsoring today's show.
And if you don't know about pristineauction.com, they are my favorite sports memorabilia place for authentic, high quality sports memorabilia. If you are a sports fan like me, you know how important it is to have authentic gear from your favorite sports team and favorite players. That's where Pristine Auction comes in. They offer a wide variety of sports memorabilia from all of your favorite teams and athletes, all at unbeatable prices.
Whether you're a fan of football, basketball, baseball, hockey, or any other sport, Pristine Auction has something for you. With over 1,000 items ending daily, you never know what kind of amazing finds you might come across.
What I love about Pristine Auction is that everything they sell is guaranteed 100% authentic and backed by the industry's top authentication company, so you can shop confidently knowing that you're getting the real deal.
So whether you're a serious collector or just a casual fan, I highly recommend checking out pristineauction.com.
And as a special bonus for my listeners, you can use registration code CHEETAH to get $10 off your first purchase. Upgrade your collection now.
Now you can't approach me selling candy. You look 45 talking about you selling candy for your prom. Like, nah.
Selling it for his daughter,
I said
bro.
he look 40. Well, he need to have that pitch. I'm selling this for my daughter. We can't afford a dress. But if you look 40 and you meet me at the you pull up on me at the QT while I'm trying to get gas, bro, and you got a box of candy and they look melted out, bro. It's nighttime now. Remind you, it's nighttime. You look 40. I'm not giving you no money.
Can't put no age on the candy, man. The
I don't care nothing about that.
Can't put no age on candy, bro.
I can put an age on him. You too old to be going to prom. So
He a chaperone.
Let me ask y'all.
but say that. Say
y'all
you a chaperone.
Where y'all from? Y'all had the candy lady or the beer lady or the
Heck yeah.
We had all that. We had the little, what you call the Kool-Aid in the
freeze cup.
Freeze
it just
cup.
depends on where you from.
All that.
You know, honey drippers,
All
freeze
that.
cup. We had I don't remember her name. You stayed in the sub too in JSD.
Mm-hmm.
The lady on the backside over there by where Twin and the McCrays used to stay. She used to always sell candy. So before school,
Bro,
you know,
she
you
sold
go
candy.
get the chips. You go get the pickle, you go get everything you need, and then after school, and she's still there.
You know what's crazy, bro? Them ladies be selling candy for like over 30 years, bro.
Yeah.
Like she sold to my older brothers, me. Like if I take my kids right now, she probably still selling right now.
facts.
For sure.
But her
facts.
prizes done went up though.
The crazy part, she was mean though, bruh. Like you couldn't walk in her grass. Like we paying for this grass. And you telling us we can't walk in your grass and we paying for the guy to cut it.
It's starting to get sophisticated now.
Right.
Like, it started with the candy, the freeze pops, all of that. In my neighborhood, we got to a place where they was doing plates. Come get you food. That was the restaurant.
What kind of plates
Yeah.
y'all doing over there?
Oh, everything, boy. This soul food.
Ooh.
And also my grandma came back, bro, when I was in college. My grandma, I'm like, Grandma, why you got so much traffic? You know what I'm saying, on the porch. They was like, oh, Grandma, she the beer lady now. Everybody in the hood coming to get the drinks from Grandma.
She running a shotgun house.
Yeah.
Yo.
Anything you want.
Selling
Even,
Grandma
the
even a
OG.
shot. That not only can you get your beer, but you can also get a shot. It was crazy. And then what was also crazy, my aunt, they called her Big Juice. She became the weed lady.
You come from a family of hustlers, bro.
Oh,
That's
my
where that
goodness.
mentality
I'm like,
come
man,
from.
what
They
we
go
doing?
get it.
It was just meant for you then.
Yeah, you was meant to be an entrepreneur.
It was
Fact.
just meant
Like,
for you then.
you ain't have no choice.
No choice at all, man.
But it's a beautiful thing when you get in this position, though, right? Like we're first generation,
Right.
You know, and that's also goes back to like when we talk about NFL and being institutionalized. It's like, do y'all know where we come from?
Right.
Like even what you talking about, oh, the lady back there, twinning them, da da da. Like they don't get that. They don't
get it.
understand that.
They don't understand that.
How can you
Two
work
people
with
twin?
somebody or brand somebody that you don't even understand their culture? Like this
Right,
is our
right.
culture, and it's 80% of the NFL.
Right.
You got that right,
Right.
brother. You got that right. So it's one thing I really want to touch on because it is very important to me, mental health.
Yeah.
I love talking about mental health. My foundation supports mental health. Mental health kids are very important to me. Can you share a little bit of your story about mental health and what you went through and how you got through, your tough times?
Yep. Man, first, I think that I was a product of my environment, like everything that we're talking about. You know what I mean? So we come from communities where we're taught to survive and not thrive. Right? We don't really have the skills and tools to be able to self-regulate and cope, right? It's fight or flight. Your head is always on the swivel. So I think that, probably 60, 70% of what I've gone through comes from that. Just overcoming that. And then I also think the NFL, and then the challenge of being a highly competitive person, and dealing with like everything that comes with that when you're young. In 2006, I was drafted to the Denver Broncos. It was immature, made some mistakes, but I think a lot of that was immaturity. And then about 2009, signs and symptoms start popping up, like in retrospect, looking back. And I thought that my stress, my anxiety, hell, even depression, like all those things would be solved once I get my deal. Right. So like every single day, all I would think about was I got to get my mom out of this situation, my sister and her kids out of this situation. I'm not going back here. Right. So like that's all I thought about every single day was ball and being successful. It consumed me. Right. Like I was football. We talked about identity. Like my identity was wrapped up in this game. And so.
Can I pause you real quick? One thing I learned. Money don't solve problems. That bitch just magnify them motherfuckers, boy. That shit crazy, man. That shit crazy. But you can go ahead.
Money don't solve problems. It magnifies them. Wow. Bro, that's a bar. Because that's so true, because what ended up happening, Cheetah, was this. Boom. 2010, I'm up. I get to the Dolphins.
You get your deal.
I get the biggest deal in the history of at the wide receiver position. I just went over Larry Fitzgerald. This same neighborhood you live in, like I just sold my crib 2 years ago. I'm backside. My house, $4.5 million. It's the newest, biggest house, the dopest house. I got all kinds of cars outside, right? Watches, jewelry. I can fly anywhere. Still didn't change anything, like you said, bro.
It's crazy, bro.
So what ended up happening was playing for the Dolphins, we sucked.
Who was the quarterback?
I had a couple of them. Chad Henne. I had Tyler Thigpen.
Shout out Chad Henne. He just retired, man.
There you go. Congratulations on a long, long career. Came in. Anything is possible.
Anything is possible.
But we had Chad. We had Tyler Thigpen. We had
you had my boy Matt Moore.
Matt Moore. Love playing with Matt Moore.
That's my guy.
Even Chad Pennington came in and relieved
for the Jets.
Our guys. Yeah, Chad Pennington was there. So we had a lot of quarterbacks. I had 17 quarterbacks in my career. But
what?
So how you came from the Chiefs, bro, and then you got to the Dolphins,
and you ball with all of them like that?
Right, 17 quarterbacks, bro. Yeah, damn. Like that didn't happen. How you went from being Cheetah with the Chiefs, everybody in the world knowing who you are, then going to the Dolphins, and you look at the year you had. It was a phenomenal year. That's hard for free agent wide receivers to come in, not only produce, but to produce at a high level, like an all pro level. Like that's unheard of.
Bro, Julius, man, I really need some tickets, man, to this Taylor Swift concert, man. I've been looking everywhere. I just can't find no tickets. The concert is less than 48 hours away, and I can't miss my girl.
And you tried every other app to try to find tickets and you still couldn't find it?
I still couldn't find it, man.
No, you didn't try it. Did you try GameTime.co? Look, you guys, this GameTime app is the fastest growing ticketing app in the country for a reason. For one, you can get images of your seat before you even purchase a ticket, so you know exactly what to expect. So no more running into that situation where you got to click on the seat and you don't know what you're going to get. With GameTime, you can actually get a virtual experience, so you know exactly what you're going to see before you even get there. You can also buy a ticket in a matter of seconds. 2 taps and you're all set. Tickets are sent directly to your phone, so you never have to dig through your emails repeatedly, searching for that ticket, scrolling through emails. They go directly to your phone. Snag your tickets without the stress by downloading that GameTime app. Create an account and use the code for my main man, Cheetah, for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create that account. Create it today. Download the GameTime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest prices guaranteed.
So my first year here, we had a coach, Coach Henne, who was like, he'll say things like this in a team meeting, like, man, the grass ain't always greener. They'll put, I love Brian Hartline, wide receiver coach for the Ohio State. And he's going to be a head coach one day. But Brian Hartline, I was the one. He was the 2. They would put him in the 1 position for some of the big plays. Like, whatever reason, I don't know. But I felt like they were doing things to kind of poke the bear. And so like I would say little things and then and I was like, damn, I know I shouldn't say that, but like this is how I feel. One day I go up to Ricky Williams and like, Ricky, you think I'm bipolar? And he's like, no, Brandon, I don't think you're bipolar. I just think you say the things.
Hold on.
Ricky Williams don't talk like that.
Gloss over that. What'd you say?
Ricky Williams do not talk like that.
Ricky Williams.
He's soft spoken, but
I put Ricky Williams in that same category of like from a, I don't know, like a like a softness, like a very like warm place, like Michael Jackson. Like,
I ain't gonna lie. When we saw Ricky Williams on that
he was
beach,
soft spoken.
bro, that man didn't have on no shoes and just long pants.
No, bro is really
he have
like
underwear on.
I don't know. Bro is really like a nomad in the United States.
Yeah,
Like just living and enjoying it and embracing
phenomenal
the environment,
Bro,
and,
yes.
and whatever aura he's
Yes,
in at that
bro.
moment. Like people talk about energy and vibes, he absorbs that, and he's him. But I don't.
phenomenal human being.
Yeah, I
learned
think
a
so.
lot from him, and
But
that's
go
why I
back to
felt
that
so
voice,
comfortable walking up to him because that off season when I was traded to the Dolphins, the first day I was there, I was invited to his 30 for 30
Right.
premiere, and so I'm sitting here watching him going through this mental health journey.
Right.
Right, like that he left millions of dollars on the table, went and lived in a tent in Australia. So all this is being captured. You're seeing this. He goes to McLean Hospital in Boston, Waltham, Massachusetts, where he gets help, right? And so all that's a part of the story. So fast forward, we're going through this terrible year, and I'm saying certain things, and I'm, like what I felt was what was going on was valid, and what I was feeling was valid. It was how I was dealing with it. And so one day I went up to Ricky and I'm like, yo, you think, I'm saying I'm bipolar, because I was watching his story. And he was like, nah, I don't think you're bipolar. I just think you say the things that we all want to say, but shouldn't say. I was like, okay, cool. So boom, fast forward to the end of the season. And this is the first time I knew something was really wrong, because going on the field, I got better hands than Cheetah. So like I didn't drop anything, right? So I never dropped anything. And if I did, like I'll bounce right back, because that was my sanctuary. Football, the field is our sanctuary to get away from all the other stuff.
Right.
Bro, I dropped 4 balls in a row, and that was the first time I was able to attribute failure on the field to something that was happening off the field.
Right.
And it didn't matter what was going on off the field. Once I get on that field,
Right.
I'm in a different world. I'm in a different zone. And that's when I knew I needed help, because I was like, yo, I can't even control that. Right. And so that offseason, I went to Ricky. I was like, yo, Dr. Gunnarsson, I would like to talk to him. So I ended up connecting with him, and I started going up there every single month. And then I did a clinical evaluation, neurological evaluation. And what they diagnosed me with was borderline personality disorder. The best way to describe that is emotional disorder, right? Somebody come in this room right now. Back then, I didn't have the skills and tools. Something happened, right? Like all of us be up here, and it'll take me longer to get back down the baseline, right? So I had to go through dialectical behavior therapy, mentalization therapy, self-assessment therapy, cognitive behavior therapy to actually get the skills and tools to be able to just cope, right? And deal with and manage. And so on the campus at McLean Hospital, where Ricky Williams went as well, and so many others, that's when I found my purpose, right? And that's when I started working towards that. And that was 2011. And I'm just passionate about it. Even House of Athlete, bro. Like we have mental health practitioners on site on Wednesdays. There's no training.
I love that.
We have groups, which it's like focus groups, but it really is self-assessment.
Right.
We have recovery rituals, and I'm really trying to get as many people there as possible. We have professional athletes that train there, college, youth, but then we also have like 500 members, just gym pop, right? Because that's really the business. Like, bro, in the off season may be there for 4 weeks if like any pro athlete, right? Not saying Cheetah trains there, he doesn't, but like a pro athlete ever stays 4 weeks. So our business is actually the general population,
Right.
And we have 500 members recurring monthly. And so my goal is to get as many of them as possible to this Wednesday experience, so they can actually deal with the shit that's going on. Because we all deal with shit, no matter if you have a diagnosis or if you're just dealing with stress. Right. So that's my passion. That's my purpose. All working towards that. Because some people are like, why are you doing House of Athlete? It's a bigger picture, because it's easier to have the discussion there than from a clinical standpoint and a stigma standpoint. I did that for 10 years.
Right.
Over here, it's working.
Right. Self-assessment. How difficult is that? Because that's something that a lot of people, in my opinion, that's the toughest thing to do. We can listen to someone else tell us what's wrong with us, but it's on us to really hone in and accept it and look in that mirror every single day and accept who you are and what your flaws are. How hard is that aspect of it, the self-assessment portion?
The beginning part is the hardest, right? Looking yourself in the mirror and just giving yourself grace, forgiving yourself, and knowing that this is part of the human experience, that you're going to make mistakes, that you're not going to be perfect, and everybody deal with something, right? So that's the hardest part, because when you acknowledge that, it's almost like you're acknowledging diminished capacity, and it's really not that. Diminished capacity meaning like, oh, I'm not, or I'm not as strong or as tough or as smart as I thought I was. No, that's not that. Once you get over that, then it becomes easy if you have a team or tribe, because self-assessment really is what we're doing now, sitting in a circle and be like, yo, how you doing?
Right.
Right. And then, or you just confiding in your brothers and being like, yo, this was going on in my life, and really being vulnerable.
Right.
Right. We do that on our show where it's like, where you at 1 to 10? And that's again, right? So you got House of Athlete pushing there, then I Am Athlete podcast, you 1 to 10. I'm fulfilling my purpose. I'm not just creating content.
Right.
I'm not just fucking signing up people to be members.
Right.
Like I'm pushing everybody to this, right? And that's what self-assessment is being vulnerable, even in front of the whole world. Like, man, like we had a moment on the show where, we were talking about NBA contracts, and it was a legendary moment, and I snapped, right? And what I cut out was, the guys like saying, man, you need to go take your medicine. I took offense to that, right? But I cut it out because, from a stigma standpoint, I ain't want to play into that, and I ain't want to even, like, whatever. Like, and we kept it in because it was, again, a viral moment. I was like, we'll keep it in. Everybody told me to keep it in. Snap. Really what happened, they hurt my feelings.
For sure.
Instead of me saying, yo, Channing, Fred, or Ocho, y'all hurt my feelings.
Right.
It came out in anger.
Right.
Right?
Right.
The very next show, I come back out and I said, yo, I apologize for how I handled that situation, but I want to let y'all know that y'all hurt my feelings. Some of this shit might have been over some of their heads or even the audience head, but what I was doing was being vulnerable to speak to people. Like, it's okay to have these conversations.
Not a lot of motherfuckers can do that.
No.
Not a lot of people can do that, though.
No.
You feel me?
No, not at all. Not at all. So
I'd have moved some shit around in there. Especially if you done been vulnerable to these individuals, your brothers.
But it happens,
and it's all
though.
right. They didn't mean it like we're gonna take a jab at him, but oh, you getting out of pocket, bro. You talking crazy. Hey man, you need to go take your medicine and calm down.
Correct.
You know what I mean? And the response is a natural, raw, unfiltered response from being vulnerable to someone. And it's almost like y'all just trying to take a jab at me, bro.
But see, that's the problem though.
Exactly.
The problem is that you can't control anybody else.
Correct.
But you can control how you respond to it.
There you
Right.
go. There you
Right.
go. There
You know
you
what
go.
I'm saying? So like even that, I was wrong.
Right.
I can't put my peace, I can't put my emotions in how they treat me or talk to me.
Right.
Right. And I think that's over the last 3 to 5 years, that's where I've been focusing on, and still have a lot of work to do, but it's like so much going on, and we always have to be active and being intentional how we take care of not only our body, but our mind. So I salute you, bro, for like all the work that you've done over the last couple years in this
Thank you.
space.
Thank
Keep it going.
Yes, sir.